Thank you, B&H. Thank you, Deborah. Thank you, David, for inviting me back. And thank you all for being here. Just curious, if you were in New York City during the 70s, would you raise your hand? Ah, so you came. Well, you might find someone you know here. Deborah already did. Okay. Last year, June 2014, I published my first book. And it was a result of many things, networking, putting myself out there, just really reaching out. It's like, you know, like you, I have so much work. I have so many photographs. I have a huge archive. And this first book was a little miracle called A Tale of Two Cities, Disco Era Bushwick. And I could talk more about it, but it was really like guerrilla publishing, a small place in Bushwick that decided to publish my work. But that's a lot of reaching out to other places. And it contrasts the street photographs I took in Bushwick. Well, I happened to be teaching there for 13 years, contrasted with my disco days that nobody had ever seen, or I should say my disco nights. No one saw them because I was a school teacher. And then 53 weeks later, another book. And from the same publisher, and this one is a prequel. It's the story before Disco Era Bushwick, because I realized people ask me why are these pictures so funny, you know, like the backgrounds, the environment is so funky, but the people having fun and laughing. And I realized I literally needed to step back and explain where I am coming from. And also all the publicity I have and making the book happen made it a possibility to have another book. And this explains a little bit where I'm coming from. In this new book, it's about Long Island, where I was raised, where I grew up, and the city, where I came to live for the first time in '75. But it was always, any Long Islanders out there, suburbians, okay, so it was always like I was, you know, in and out of the city. My dad had a printing company here. My family's from the Bronx, but on the left, that's my family. My mom, dad, my cousins, my aunt, uncle. It's Rosh Hashanah, and I come from a background of humor, of laughter, and trust me, my family, myself, we know tragedy very well, but there's something about it that has always been humor as well. And so, of course, the background where I come from was very different from what I came to live in New York City and also Bushwick itself. And then romping around in the city, going to, you know, places I always liked as a kid, the circus. And someone who works here says she was in those cars in the circus. So going to backstage to Ringling Brothers. And the time period, a little background of the time period, this is a time when you could go to CBGB's, and that is Patti Smith singing Gloria. I mean, I'm not the kind of person who like watch someone on stage and just blast away. I'm not a paparazzi, never has been, but this is Patti Smith singing Gloria. So I took that 2 shots. The other one's in the book as well. And you could be at a rally and be right next to Allen Ginsberg, anti-nuclear rally. And a little bit more background at the time, so we have to think about what it was. It's like the rising of feminism in full swing. That's Gloria Steinem, but she happens to be, these are like, this is really a memoir. This is my cousin. This is my 4th cousin, Barbara Seaman's father, and my grandmother, first cousins. But Barbara Seaman is responsible for your warnings on birth control pills, and she got a literary award from Gloria. And yet at the same time, every day on Fifth Avenue would be this guy. He was a fixture. When did the fixture go away? He seemed like he was always there. I took pictures of people I knew since I was 2 years old. You know, the neighbors 2 doors away. I just got together with that family. You know, we had a North Massapequa Girls Club reunion, compared to going out to the discos tonight and, you know, seeing the village people sing up close. That's my older brother. I have 2 brothers. We're a close family. We stick together. And that's him at his wedding. And compared to CBGBs, this is Elda Stiletto. She's someone who should be known more. Debbie Harry was in her band. Okay? And recently I found out we're going to connect because we actually made contact. She's around, she's well, she's healthy. She's a grandma, but she really should have a bigger reputation. So in CBGB. And here's my mom. This is the only picture that someone who loves you would let you take. It's my mom getting her hair teased at Besame Beauty Salon. And Besame Beauty Salon is still there on Broadway in Massapequa. There's a whole other thing I've realized doing this process, of which I guess is memoir, is part of realizing that I had then and now that I like to go on adventures around and go to different kind of places. My parents belonged to a mystery club. Okay, well, they didn't make mystery novels. That for over 2 decades, like 12 to 13 members of this tight group of friends would plan a mystery evening out and send strange invitations to everybody else to show up at a certain time in a certain place, what you needed to wear, if you needed to eat beforehand. The only rule was that it couldn't cost more than $25 a couple, including entertainment and food. And if they had to rent a bus, it could have been a little bit more. And they went to some really strange places, really fun places that they might have to edit them out of this video. So I would dare say, it's talked about in the book, but my parents and their friends had a hoot. They really had a lot of fun and a lot of laughter. And so this is a mystery club family compared to the Bowery back at the time. This is probably one of the rare occasions where I didn't ask that person, but I knew the person photographing them. So a lot of the people in the book are the mystery club people. And it says that, so like this is a mystery club, the father who lived at the home and the son. So it's like, we realized we had a unique upbringing to be able to know that your parents were going out and they were just so tickled to be going out laughing. They're going out for a mystery evening, and the next day you heard about what they did and you couldn't believe it. And it was just so imaginative. And soon afterwards, in September '79, a lot changed for me because my CETA grant ended and I really needed a full-time job. I was a freelance illustrator, so I became a full-time school teacher. And so this is going on one of my first class trips. Classroom management and bus trip management is not easy. This is my little cousin, Jennifer. This is it's Rosh Hashanah. In fact, the 10 Commandments are in our bathroom. And this guy on the right is CBGB. His name is Steve Baders. He was the lead singer of a group called the Dead Boys. This was their final concert. And Steve Baders had an accident. He is actually buried, his ashes are with Jim Morrison in Paris, one of his heroes. Here we are out. I spent a lot of summers, a lot of Fire Island in there, out in Cherry Grove, the Pines, Ocean Beach, and Memorial Day weekend. The Miss Fire Island contest, the winner in his American flags, and then I had a friend, Mr. Katz. He lived to be 99.9, and the mayor of Grand Street, and going with him to his senior citizen home. To me, it's like the diversity of New York City itself. Look, all the kinds of people who belong here, and God bless America. Someone here, Amy knows me. I've actually been getting a lot of press on my shows in the past few years, and then leading up to the books, and it's been a steady thing, and I found a formula that's worked for me. And I'll tell you, I just kind of figured it out, and so I'd like to share it with you. I really get a lot of press, and I am my own publicist. So this is just a little inkling. And I'm not any better than anybody else. Your work is just, when you look at those pictures, you probably thought, those are pretty ordinary pictures. A lot of money, even better. Of course they are. So, a little bit of secrets. Press releases are so, so important if you want to get press. And I looked at know who my role models were? I looked at ICP. And I said, so it's a one page. It has, where it is, the date, what's happening, an image with it, and a one-page essay that describes what's going on, catches your attention, because most people in the press, or many things, they grab everything from that. And then they might ask you other questions. But it should be self-explanatory and really grab you from the heart right away. Not longer than one page. Physical reminders, your business cards, postcards for the shows. They're important too. Not even to mail out as much, because now there's other ways of mailing things out. You should say what it is, grab you on one side. Sometimes even I found out that I was invited to be in a Brooklyn Museum show because a curator I kept on sending postcards to actually saved them. It might be the only thing that anyone sees from you is this physical piece. So send them to the important people that in your dreams you'd like them to come to, if you have time to. And everyone else, just walk around with them, hand them out, drop them off. And so just the place, the name of the show. To me, I think the name of the show is important, like the book cover. And images that kind of gives an idea what it'll be about. And on the back, like I say, I like to have events. The show's going to be up for a long while, as long as possible. Make it interesting. Bring people in another way. And also, it's more interesting for yourself. Invite performers. Invite your friends you know I know you have interesting friends who can address the same topic in a different way. It's good for everybody. Networking is extremely important. Like, I belong to a network called Professional Women Photographers. The person who wrote the introduction to my book is from my group, PWP, Professional Women Photographers. She wasn't a famous writer, but yet the New Yorker has quoted her twice. Hello? You're someone who knows your work well. And also, in the last few years, I've been a part of Bushwick Open Studios because I have this work about Bushwick. It's a very important network. It's amazing because groups together bring more attention. This is something that's I think is very effective. These e-blasts, and I can give you the names of places, they're all free online. I mean, free up to 2,000 names. And so here are some of mine. Here's for my first book launch. So when someone opens their email, they see a visual, and it's also in text, so if they don't see a visual, the information's there about what's going on. And on the bottom, I include the press release. The same, you spent a lot of time writing it, it was painful to writing. It hurt. I could have oral surgery. That would have been more fun. Put it out there, because once you have it, it's there. Pump it out. Boom, boom. And again, it's a formula. Once the person who designed my books also designed my MailChimp. And that's that devil called social media. And yes, my Facebook is, I do communicate with my friends and family, but I also do share articles or let people know about events coming up. Also on LinkedIn, I have to say I don't use it as enough. As someone else said, most people who pay your bills are on LinkedIn. But again, I share information. And those mass mailings, they have a tool that you can easily put it on your social media. And my website is not complex, but it's the same message. Boom, boom. It's the same message. This is what I'm doing. There's a signing, there's exhibit, there's some. I don't have a lot of photographs up there. I should keep a blog, but I don't. It's very outdated. But there is a way to contact people and it's a way to archive, and it's a way for people to find you. So, if you could, it took me 40 years. People cross deserts in 40 years. It took me that long to get to know this person in the mirror. And it's okay, because, be willing, we live long and keep going. So I hope that you get a little more courage and ask more questions about how to do this.
Whether you're a hobbyist or a professional, B&H has the answers to your questions. Experience a world of technology at our New York City Superstore. Connect with us online or give us a call. Our staff of experts is happy to help.